I sit there and I sometimes I'll listen to some pastors, not all of them. If you're a pastor, don't get offended because I'm hoping you're not one you're one of the good ones, and it's okay for you. I think it's okay to use emotion in what you're doing because you live in a society where attention spans are very short. So to some extent, there has to be something that's going to make it fun and everything else. I think that that's fine in a healthy way, but when it gets to the point where there's no substance beneath the flash, that's when you got a problem. Because you got some Negroes out here that's all flash and no substance. If you're flash and substance, then I don't have a problem with that. Because if you're all substance and no flash, then no one's going to listen. Because you live in a society where people just their attention spans are not very long. So that's another thing. So a couple more things I want to mention. What is it? There's something called fear conditioning and loss aversion. Behavioral economics demonstrates that people are more motivated to avoid loss than to seek gain. So if you link obedience to or giving to protection, blessings, or salvation, like you're gonna go to hell if you don't do this, that implies loss, punishment, or spiritual danger for noncompliance, which is really powerful if you use fear rather than faith. There's another one, social proof and conformity pressure. Research on group behavior shows individuals conform when they see others complying. So social, they call that social proof. So when they see other people doing something, people will follow the crowd. Studies show that 70% of all people will follow the crowd, even if the crowd is wrong. Um, public giving, standing ovations for donors, testimonies tied to money, and visible participation cues normalize behaviors and make dissent feel socially risky. So you feel bad if you're that one person who's not participating when everybody else wants to do it. So generally speaking, what I would say is, again, I want to make it clear that because we're talking about the church, I'm not talking about the whole church. I think the church is necessary. I think that your faith is powerful. It's important. Faith is important actually in investing. When you make an investment in a stock and you are watching that stock go down and you have a reason to own it and you want to hold on, it's faith that keeps you focused, right? When you start a business and you're going to start off and it's raggedy and you're not making money and bad things happen and you have setbacks, faith keeps you going. Just like you raise a child and you have hard times with the child and they misbehave and end up in jail or something, faith is what keeps you focused on doing your job, right? So faith is really valuable and powerful. I think faith, in fact, I think that one of the ways to overcome trauma and fear that we have in our community that's so heightened and so strong is through faith, right? You feel the fear, you do it anyway because you have faith that if you work hard and you're a good person, you keep going, good things will happen. So faith, I think, is essential. I don't want faith to be replaced with hopelessness. I think it's very hopeless to believe in nothing, right? Again, when you're agnostic, I understand that. Agnostic means I don't know what's going on. I don't know how I got here. I don't know if there's God or not. I have no idea. I'm trying to figure it out. Atheist is a little weird to me because atheist means you're like, oh, I already know there ain't no God. I already know. And I'm like, well, how do you know? You're like, how do you do like I don't this to me sounds the same as somebody who's telling me they know exactly what happens when you die, exactly where you go, exactly who you're gonna be. No, I don't think you know any of that. I think that that's the dilemma of life. And I think sometimes when we have a void, we don't just let the void sit there. We feel like we got to fill it up.